New York City. We've traveled abroad to many far-off corners of the world. However, we've yet to find a city that quite lives up to the Big Apple. Join us as we share our New York City travel experiences in the form of a top 50 things to do in the city guide, where we cover top attractions along with extended footage in the form of vlogs, where we visit places we didn't cover the first time around. From the High Line to Brooklyn Bridge and Smorgasburg to Governor's Island, our guide offers a bit of something for everyone. Our recent week in New York City was an action-packed one. We decided to set ourselves a challenge to see and do as much as we possibly could, and that gave way to this video guide which highlights 50 of the top attractions. In a city like New York, this means we barely scratched the surface, but hopefully this video will highlight the cornucopia of possibilities that is the Big Apple.
Most journeys begin at Penn Station or Grand Central Terminal, and if you arrive at the latter, you'll be wowed by the building. Visiting the High Line, which is an old section of rail tracks that used to run from Chelsea all the way to the Meatpacking District, and this area has actually been reclaimed and turned into a park, which is pretty cool.
The Meatpacking District was once home to markets, slaughterhouses, and packaging plants, but times have changed. Today you'll find a mixture of trendy restaurants, clubs, and boutiques.
The Village used to be a bohemian neighborhood that drew artists and musicians, but today you're more likely to find upper middle class families living here. The streets are shaded and quiet, and it's a nice place for a casual stroll.
Before coming to New York City, there were a few things I absolutely wanted to do, and one of them was to walk across the Brooklyn Bridge, and I'm doing that right now. Completed in 1883, Brooklyn Bridge is one of the oldest suspension bridges in the United States. It connects the boroughs of Manhattan and Brooklyn.
Today we are over in Williamsburg, which is one of the more popular neighborhoods here in Brooklyn. It definitely has a very young feel. I'm seeing a lot of 20-something-year-olds, and that means lots of flea markets, independent restaurants, and art galleries. Williamsburg has become quite popular given its lower rent prices. University students and young professionals have been flocking to this part of town.
We got to see a lot of cool street art around Williamsburg, including murals around Bedford, Fillmore, and Roebling.
This is a massive park located in Brooklyn, and it was designed by the same landscape architects who brought Central Park to life. Visiting the historic district of Dumbo, and that stands for Down Under the Manhattan Bridge Overpass.
You can walk along the riverfront for a great view of the Brooklyn and Manhattan bridges and the Manhattan skyline. Come to New York and not have a slice of pizza, and I can't think of a better place to have it here than in Brooklyn.
We were kind of tired from a long day of walking, and we decided to take a little break at Bryant Park, and lo and behold, we found that they have free board games that anyone can use throughout the day. You'll catch friends, couples, and families playing games like chess, dominoes, and Scrabble. During the summer months, Bryant Park also becomes a popular hangout spot for people looking to relax and even work on their tans.
After visiting Bryant Park, you'll want to pop into the library for a look at the beautiful interior.
The Staten Island Ferry is free of charge, and this makes it really popular with visitors who want to catch a glimpse of the Statue of Liberty from a distance.
If you want to get a closer look at Lady Liberty, you'll have to buy tickets to Liberty Island. If you make reservations well in advance, you can even climb to the viewing platform inside the Crown.
Battery Park is located on the southern tip of Manhattan. It is home to a few different memorials, and you'll also catch a lot of visitors hanging out in this area as they wait to catch a ferry.
Little Italy may be slowly shrinking, but it's still a great place to grab some Italian food and a gelato for dessert.
Having both lived in South Korea, Sam and I were thrilled to come across Manhattan's own Little Korea. We seized the opportunity and found a restaurant serving kimchi, pajeon, and kimchi bokkeumbap.
If you're looking for a bargain, Chinatown is a fun place to visit. The storefronts usually spill onto the sidewalks. It's one of the few places where you can haggle on the price of things.
Coney Island is all about good old-fashioned fun. You can ride roller coasters, stroll down the boardwalk, enjoy some beach time, and then head over to Nathan's famous hot dogs. We happened to be here during a parade, which explains why the streets were so busy. And that's our next tip. If you're here in June, don't miss the Mermaid Parade. In the northwest end of Manhattan, visiting the Cloisters, and this building was built in the medieval architectural style, and it's home to some really lovely sculptures and paintings, so we're going to be visiting those. The Cloisters will make you feel like you've traveled over to Europe. This place is a peaceful retreat from Manhattan's busy streets.
The Apollo is one of the most famous music halls in New York City. Amateur night is on Wednesdays, and it's great for spotting upcoming talent. Harlem for some soul food, and we've heard some great things about Sylvia's. Can't wait to go and have some fried chicken. We ended up having smothered chicken and it melted in our mouths. Delicious.
While in the city, we also dropped by the National September 11 Memorial.
We then made our way to Trinity Church, which holds one of the oldest burial grounds in Manhattan and is the final resting place of many historic figures. So we're here now at Wall Street, where millions are made and lost.
Visiting the Lincoln Center, which is a space that celebrates the performing arts. It is home to the opera, the ballet, and the theater. Art aficionados will love the possibilities the Lincoln Center offers.
While I wouldn't recommend biking Manhattan's congested streets, Central Park really is a great place for a bike ride. If you're looking to cover a lot of ground, you can pick up a bike from one of the many rental shops. One thing you absolutely have to do when you come to New York is watch a New York Yankees baseball game. Right now we're at Yankee Stadium, and this is the most historic baseball franchise. They've won more World Series than any other team.
So we have a very exciting day of museum hopping ahead of us. Our first stop is the Met, or the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and I'm really looking forward to browsing the different galleries. Admission to the Met is by suggested donation only, meaning you can give whatever you can afford.
This triangular-shaped skyscraper is one of the most iconic buildings in the city. If you approach the building from a certain angle, it looks two-dimensional.
Washington Square Park is popular with families looking to cool down during the summer months. There is a large fountain where kids like to climb and splash around, and the park is also known for its arch, which is reminiscent of that found in Paris.
And while you visit Washington Square Park, you can also take the opportunity to swing by the NYU campus.
The National Museum of the American Indian has a very interesting collection, and the best part is that admission is free of charge.
The American Museum of Natural History is located in the Upper West Side, and it has an extensive dinosaur collection.
Times Square, the busiest intersection in all of New York City. If you're going to be visiting, I recommend you come at nighttime when all the lights are on and it's just crowded. Times Square has often been nicknamed the center of the universe and the crossroads of the world. An estimated 330,000 people pass through here daily.
Modern art lovers can pop into the MoMA for a visit. And a really fun way to get over to Roosevelt Island is to take a cable car from Manhattan. This tramway runs from Manhattan to Roosevelt Island, and the ride lasts 3 minutes. It's a fun way to get an aerial overview of the city, but it's also slightly unnerving if you don't like heights.
Fifth Avenue is a shopping mecca. The street is lined with prestigious high-end boutiques, and it's considered to be one of the most expensive shopping streets in the world.
The top of the Rock observation deck is located on the 70th floor and offers 360-degree unobstructed views. The Empire State Building was the world's tallest building for almost 40 years. While it hasn't been surpassed many times since, it still boasts some of the best views of New York City.
Carnegie Hall is a concert venue, and it often plays host to classical performances.
This morning we're exploring Central Park, also known as the lungs of New York City. Now this park is massive, and there are so many different entrances, it's almost like a bit of a maze. So if you really want to see the park properly, you've got to come several times and you've got to enter from different vantage points.
Central Park is massive, and there are so many places to visit within its boundaries. We managed to see the Belvedere Castle, the Great Lawn, Shakespeare Garden, the Ramble, the Jackie Onassis Reservoir, the Alice in Wonderland statue, and we still left feeling like we barely scratched the surface. Strawberry Fields is a section of Central Park dedicated to the memory of John Lennon. This was a place Lennon used to frequent, and travelers from far and wide stopped by to leave a rose and pay their respects.
So we're just outside of the Met. I've got a giant pretzel in my hand. It's piping hot. It's delicious. I'm gonna try a bite. Really doughy, and wow, is it ever salty. You Can't come to New York without taking in a musical. There's so many different ones you can choose, from Mamma Mia to Phantom of the Opera. We're here now at Madison Square Garden, which is home to the NHL's New York Rangers, one of the most historic hockey teams. And this building is one of the most famous in the whole world for entertainment. You can watch concerts, you can watch shows. This is where lots of live performances happen.
This is a memorial site to the unnamed free and enslaved Africans who were buried here. It was only rediscovered in 1991.
The cool thing about this intersection is that it's the point from which all official distances from New York City are measured. One of the best ways to get around New York City is of course by metro. I've got this metro card over here and I paid $30. This has allowed me to go around the city for 7 full days, unlimited use. If you want to really explore New York City, we recommend picking up a Metro card so that you can zip around the city with no restrictions. It's cheap and it's efficient. And that concludes a look at our very busy week in New York City. I'm still shocked we managed to cover so many attractions, but the great thing about this city is that distances aren't very long and there's always something really cool worth checking out around each corner.
Have you been to New York? What are your favorite things about this city? Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments section below. Alright, so we are going out for a bit of an unusual breakfast this morning. We are here in the Lower East Side to have breakfast at Katz's Deli. Now they specialize in corned beef and pastrami sandwiches and I am starving, so let's go in there and order some food. So here is the food we ordered. We ended up getting one corned beef sandwich, one pastrami sandwich, and they both came with a whole bunch of pickles.
Check it out, look at those.
Ooh,
wow.
This looks fantastic.
Katz's Deli has been around since 1888. It's a true institution, and what makes their meat so special is the curing process. Apparently it takes over 30 days. Alright, so you're starting with pastrami.
Yes.
Just show us like how much meat is in there. Like, isn't that is ridiculous. You will not find a sandwich that thick with meat.
So it's served on rye bread with lots of mustard, and I love pastrami sandwiches, so I have high expectations. Wow. That is so good. The meat is so juicy, it just falls apart the minute you bite into it. And it's so tender, so flavorful. And it's just perfectly paired with the mustard. Like, that combination is fantastic. One more bite. Check it out.
Right, and so I have the other sandwich, the corned beef sandwich. Go look at that.
Wow.
Behemoth. I'm gonna try to eat it without having too much of it falling off.
Struggling there? A little messy.
That was way too big of a bite. But, oh my. Like, you're right, that meat is as tender as it gets. And I like that they keep a little bit of a fat on it. It's really juicy and it's got a bit of a greasy feel as you're chewing it. So good.
And let's not forget the pickles.
Yeah, for this type of sandwich, you cannot have it without pickles. Like, it is also the perfect pairing. You've got to have your mustard and you've got to have your pickles. That's nice. So out of the two sandwiches, which one do you like the most?
My favorite is definitely the pastrami, this one that I'm holding here. I just find that the meat is a lot more tender. It's just a lot easier to eat. And
the flavor.
Yeah, like I don't know what it is, but this one is pretty special. So if you come to Katz's, highly, highly recommend pastrami sandwich. It's great.
So again, there is a Montreal-New York connection. While in Montreal, you can go to a place called Schwartz's, which specializes in Canadian smoked meat sandwiches, which is similar to the pastrami one. There is a bit of a difference. It's hard to say which one I like better. I love them both, to be honest, and if you can try them both, if you're in Montreal and in New York, highly recommend you do that.
Alright, so the price, how much do these sandwiches cost? Well, they are not cheap because this place is really famous. They each come in at just under $20, but at the same time they are quite filling. Like I'm still struggling to finish my first piece.
Yeah, like this is gonna be more of a brunch than a breakfast.
Yeah, so bring your appetite when you come here, and yeah, bring your wallet as well. It's a Saturday here in Williamsburg, and we are at Smorgasburg, which is a really fun outdoor food market. They have over 100 vendors that are just setting up right now. So we're here to have breakfast. We're just going to sample some food, and it just seems like a really fun spot to meet some friends, have a late brunch. So yeah, let's get started.
We're really hot, so I think we're gonna go for the ice cream sandwich first, right? Excited about that?
Sure am. So this is my oat chocolate chunk ice cream cookie. It's got fudge and sea salt, and it looks amazing.
Let's get a close-up of it.
Check it out. Ooh. So I'm gonna take a bite before it starts melting in this heat.
How is that?
Wow. That's a gourmet ice cream cookie.
Seriously parched, huh?
Time for some lemonade.
So it's time to try this lemonade, which I think is made with organic cane sugar.
Yep.
Like there's nothing more refreshing than ice cold lemonade on a hot day. So we've got an original black bubble tea, and basically the theme of this afternoon has been trying to cool off. As you've probably noticed, we've just been having things like ice creams and drinks, lemonades. Now we've got bubble tea. It's really refreshing. I love the tapioca little bubbles.
Ooh, show us the bubbles.
Right there.
There they are. Looks good. Now let's share. To wrap things up here at Smorgasburg here in Williamsburg, we had a really good time kind of just wandering around. We sampled some different food. Mostly we were just eating things and drinking things to kind of cool off. The prices are a little bit high, so it does add up after a while, but it's the kind of place where you come to socialize, to be out in the sun, and to have a good time and to sample all kinds of different food. beautiful Sunday here in New York City, and we decided to take the ferry over to Governor's Island. It's less than half a mile from Lower Manhattan, so here we are just enjoying nature, walking around, and I think we're gonna go grab some food soon because as usual we are hungry. So right now we are visiting Castle Williams, and over the years this place has been a fort, a prison, and now a community center, so it's pretty cool. They have some interactive art and music happening, so yeah, we're just taking a little tour.
I'm really enjoying the relaxed vibe of this island. It's just so calm here, and there's these really neat things to do. Like there's a little flea market behind us. We know where to go when there's a fork and a knife. Alright, so we just hit up a little food truck and we've got burritos and quesadillas. I don't know what you're having for lunch, but my lunch looks awesome.
Alright, so I'm starting with the burrito.
Either way, you can go through this building. You know where it is.
That's quite nice. I'm starving, so honestly, anything would taste good right now.
Looks like we've got dessert over here.
Yeah, so we were craving a little sweet treat after that lunch, which was just okay. So over here we have organic apple cider ice cream sandwich donuts, which is something I've never had before. But
it looks amazing. I come to think of it, I've never had that either. I've had like homemade ice cream sandwiches, but donut form? How's that?
Oh yeah, wow. That's amazing. A little messy, and it's melting fast because it's so hot out. So I'm just gonna eat it.
So after stuffing our beaks, what do we do?
Well, we found the Hammock Grove, which is a lovely little spot with lots of hammocks where you can just hang out and digest your meal, pretty much.
Siesta time, huh?
Oh yeah. So right now we are touring the commanding officer's quarters. Let's have a look. So the home is empty now and all the furniture has been removed, but it's kind of been turned into like a little art gallery. So you'll notice that there are paintings on the walls, but that's it. Everything else is bare.
And I love how on this island you can just kind of walk into these homes and it's just like there's, you know.
Yeah, they have big welcome flags so that you can just go in, have a look, and see what the home was once like.
Alright, and that concludes our visit to Governor's Island. It was just a short trip. One of the things that we noticed was that the island is even smaller than what we expected. It's the kind of place that you can probably visit in 2 to 3 hours, including a lunchtime.
So today we are having lunch at one of our favorite hamburger joints. We are here at Shake Shack, which is a name that is widely known across the US. We try to eat here every time we are in the States, and New York City is no exception. Now today we are not just at any Shake Shack, we are at the original Shake Shack, which is located in Madison Square Park. And this actually started out as a little hot dog cart, and now it's grown into a huge franchise. So super excited to be eating here, and I'm also really hungry, so let's go order. And this is the line to order Shake Shack. And we're gonna stand here and get our food.
finally ordered and now we're just waiting along with a whole bunch of other people. Look who just came back.
I'm so scared to drop it. It's finally here. Check it out. So the wait is over, our food has finally arrived, and if you have a look over here, we got the smoke shack. I got the single, Sam got the double because he's a hungry boy, and we also have our french fries, cheese fries actually, that looks delicious. Ho ho ho. And that's not everything. We have a cheesecake milkshake.
Not just cheesecake, strawberry cheesecake.
Awesome. So let's dig in. Look at that thing of beauty. Oh yeah. That is why we stood in line for 15 minutes and waited another 20 minutes for our food to be ready. This is like the best hamburger I've ever had.
Seriously, one of the best things we did while we were in Las Vegas was try a Shake Shack there. Now this one here in New York City is the original, and so I have high expectations for this burger. I've got the Shake Shack double, which means it's got 2 patties, it's got lots of cheese, and it's got bacon. Wow.
Fabulous, is it?
It is just unbelievably good. This is my favorite burger by far.
Okay, so now it's time for the cheesy fries. Right over here. Looks sloppy and greasy and cheesy.
Just the way we like it.
It kind of tastes like french fries with cheese whiz on top, like hot, gooey cheese whiz. Wow.
Okay, just a little tip if you want to visit the original Shake Shack. We came here and started standing in line at about 11:20, 11:30, and it was already busy. Now that it's past noon, I think there's about 2 to 3 times the amount of people standing in line. So if you want to come, I would suggest maybe right around 11 when it opens, and then you won't have to wait as long for your burger. And because we're not picky enough, what do we have?
Well, a milkshake was not enough, so we've gone back for custard. So this is a vanilla custard with fudge. Oh yeah.
Digging that?
I've never had frozen custard before, so it's a new flavor for me. It's like custard ice cream, but creamier, smoother.
Alright, to wrap things up, I'm not even entirely sure what makes this burger better than other fast food burgers, but I think it has to do with quality ingredients. The meat is just so juicy, there's a lot of cheese, and the bun is delicious. They also have like these like red hot chilies that just really enhance the taste. It's just my favorite burger right now, and like we've said before, I am willing to stand in line and wait a long time for it.
So hello from New York City. Sam and I are hanging out in Queens for a few days, and we're just going to be visiting friends, checking out some sights, and mostly eating. So today's video is actually going to be a taste test. We tracked down some of the best New York style bagels in the city, and today we're going to be sampling a whole bunch. This large bag over here holds 14 different kinds of bagels. So, Sam, I hope you're feeling hungry.
Alright, I kind of went overboard with my purchase, but I'm going to show you all the bagels, one by one. Egg bagel, pumpernickel bagel, poppy seed bagel, French toast bagel, blueberry bagel, cinnamon raisin bagel, everything bagel. And there's a whole bunch more. And if I get bored, I can always use this bag to exercise. It is seriously heavy.
So last summer we traveled to Montreal where we tried a whole bunch of bagels. So what is the difference between Montreal bagels and New York bagels? Well, apparently the Montreal ones are smaller, thicker, and sweeter, whereas the New York City bagels are larger and doughier. So let's start eating them.
The first thing that comes to mind when I try a New York style bagel is just how massive these are. Like, these are huge. Like, check out this thing. It's like holding a brick. If someone ever stole my wallet, I could throw one of these at them. Wham! Right in the head. It would knock them right out. But instead of throwing them at somebody, I think we'll try eating them right now.
So I've had my eye on this one for a while. This is the Everything Bagel. And it smells amazing. I think there has to be some garlic in there because the aroma it's giving off, it's just wonderful. So I'm not even going to bother putting cream cheese or any kind of spreads on it. Just taking a big bite.
Dig right in.
Wow, it really is doughy and chewy. Look at that. Oh yeah. So it's poppy seed and roasted garlic on the exterior and sesame seed. And that's just wonderful. Like, you can eat it plain. It's flavorful as it is. Amazing. I know it's the first one I'm trying, but I think it's my favorite.
Alright, I'm gonna be focusing on more of the sweeter bagels. This one here is the French toast bagel, and I've decided to pair this with one of the cream cheeses that we bought. This is raisin and walnut cream cheese. Yeah, I'm totally being lazy as well. I'm not cutting open the bagels. I just put a bit of the spread on. Time to bite. Wow. Yeah. Like, seriously, you couldn't find a better spread for this particular bagel. Like, they complement each other perfectly. This is a bit of a sweeter bagel, and it is just amazing.
Okay, so next up we have the egg bagel, which is the size of my face, let's be honest here. Again, I'm gonna try this one without cream cheese.
I think that might be the biggest one.
Yeah.
Biggest one of the bunch.
The bite was too big.
Well, greedy pants, how was that?
Alright. So, that's the egg bagel. It's yellow. I thought it would be a little fluffier than the other ones. Kind of like egg bread, but it's really not. It's still quite dense. And it's nice. I think this one would be nice with like salty butter.
Alright, next up I've got one of my favorite bagels of all time, the cinnamon raisin bagel. And not much needs to be explained about this one. Let's just bite right in. That's really good. My personal tip for when having this particular bagel is to toast it and then put peanut butter on. That is amazing combo.
And the last one here is pumpernickel, and it smells fantastic. If you like German bread, you're gonna like this one. Again, the bite was a little too big. Now I can't speak. This bagel, this would be perfect with cream cheese and some smoked salmon on top.
Alright, and the last one for me here is the blueberry bagel. And if you look closely here, it definitely is purple. Never tried a blueberry bagel before. I love blueberries, so this should be exciting. Oh wow, look at that. Now you can taste the blueberry. It's not overpowering, like you still have like the normal bagel taste, but it's just like that extra little blueberry flavor. It's really good. Seriously, those bagels were fantastic. We're both really getting stuffed at this point. If you want to buy them, you can go to New York City Bagel and Coffee House, which is located in Queens, Astoria. The Coney Island Mermaid Parade is an annual spectacle celebrating the beginning of the summer season in late June. Thousands converged to watch performers dancing and singing. Even Elvis showed up. It was mostly a happy event. However, a select few decided to brawl instead. With perfect weather, we marveled at the extraordinary and oftentimes risque marine costumes. What an event! If you're in New York in June, definitely consider going to the Mermaid Parade. I promise you, you won't be the only one there.